Hey, good morning, y'all. Welcome back to Mama Smoky Hills Life Skills. This morning I have decided, bear with me, okay, because I know it's windy out here. I know that these windy, noisy videos are not ideal, but I wanted to do it out here because it feels nice today and the sun is halfway shining, and I have more room to do things. So I hope you can see this, because when I'm filming in the sun, it's hard for me to see what's on the phone. So I hope that this goes as planned. So like I said, just bear with me, okay? So I had thought about doing this video a couple days ago, and we actually got our bug out bags out and went through them and checked things, and I ended up not doing the video. Well, yesterday, as some of you may know, here in Tennessee, the nuclear facility in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, had a fire and people got evacuated. Apparently it was contained, no one was hurt, which is great, and it's supposed to be safe now. You decide for yourself if you believe that and what's going on with all that, if it was just a fluke thing or, whatever's happening. So I decided to go ahead and get this done today, because we need to prepare in all ways of life. I know I'm definitely for Jesus, and that's what I talk about all the time, and there is a lot of people, because I'm a Christian and I do things like this, that don't believe that we should pray up or worry about anything, along those lines. And we are not to fear, and I understand that, but I believe that God also gave us brains to use, okay? And it's all in the way that you do it. Like, my trust is in Jesus. I know that he's going to take me to heaven. I know that he will take care of me, but I believe he also gave us brains to use to do things for ourselves, as in stuff like this. The Bible, I've talked about this in other videos, talks about like Joseph preparing food for a whole nation, and God says not to be like the ant and be sluggards, you're supposed to work. Well, the same people that say that we shouldn't prepare and have any extra food on hand or stuff like this, they grow gardens. Why? Is that not the same concept? Why not just wait for it to fall out of the sky? Why? I heard another girl the other day on a video on YouTube was talking along some of those lines, and she said, why wear a seatbelt in a car? Same thing. Sorry, I had to pause you for a second and I couldn't see if it was back on. So back where I was at, about wearing the seatbelt, and then people, you take a diaper bag, that might sound silly, but to me it's kind of the same thing. You take a diaper bag when you go somewhere with a baby, so why not have stuff for older people also? You don't know what could hit at any moment. I've talked about this before. If you want to have stuff in your vehicle, that way it is ready to go at all times, because if you had something in your area like that and you needed to leave quickly, your stuff's ready to go and you don't have as much to worry about. That goes for making sure that your vehicle is good to go at all times with what you need in it, and having enough gas that you could get out of the area if need be, because it could be at an hour when the gas station's closed, or maybe they close them up if something. You just really never know. But I know I've said this in my other videos also. If you had stuff in your vehicle, what if you got out and there was an ice storm or something and you got stuck somewhere? You have stuff for you and your kids, extra clothes, extra food, all the things. But I don't think that there is a problem and it's you not trusting God if you prepare. I believe that He gave you the brains and ability to take care of yourself, and He's with you through it. That's what my thoughts on it are. And there's plenty of Bible passages where people did things like that. Sitting there doing nothing and just waiting for it to fall out of the sky for you, that's not going to happen. You have to do things on your own. But we are living in very uncertain times, and yes, if it's your day to go, it does not matter where you are, what you're doing. Your name is already written in the book on the day that you are going to go. I know that. But like I've said over and over and over, and I'll continue to say, He gave you brains for a reason. And I believe this stuff right here could very well help you or someone else someday. So we're going to go ahead and get into what some of this is. I made a video, some of you that has been on here with me from the get-go, it's been 1.5 to 2 years ago. I made a video showing what was in these bug out bags, and I erased that video because I decided not to keep it up any longer. But then today I decided I'm going to put it back out there, and it might help someone. I know that after I put up the first one that a couple of people that I know, you know who you are, went and done some of this stuff. So I'm glad that I could help them out. And let me remind you that they say you need to get your stuff out like every 6 months and check it. But mine was definitely in there longer than that. But it depends on what kind of stuff you have. Now, if you have little kids that grow extremely fast, especially like baby toddler stage, you know how fast they outgrow stuff, you are definitely going to want to check their stuff more often, because you need to keep their clothes updated to make sure that they can still wear them. And then certain kinds of food, some things may go bad quicker than others, but if you put the right kind of stuff in there, you should get at least a year or two out of it. And older people like myself that has been wearing the same size clothes and stuff for literally years, unless you've had a drastic downsize or upsize, then you should be okay on your clothes. But at least once a year, get your stuff out, check it, check your clothes, check your food. But today I'm just going to show you some of the stuff that's in these. So this is probably going to be a little lengthy of a type video, but maybe it'll help you and you'll get prepared and be ready in that moment. Because if you have it in your vehicle, like I said, and you get caught in an ice storm, then you have stuff there. You know, if your kids have an accident and need to change, or they get hungry, or they need something to do to keep them busy, or you get evacuated at any hour of the day because of some kind of nuclear type deal happening and you have to leave home, you want some of your own stuff. You know, there's good people out there that, you know, sometimes they will help you to get clothes and food and all that, and that's wonderful. Or pray that this doesn't happen. Pray any of it doesn't happen, you know. But there's things going to happen. We know that. Just like house fires. You know, if you have your stuff already ready to go, at least you have some of your own stuff until you can get something else. That's the way that I see it, okay? So we're going to get started. My food stuff, I have it laying here already out of the bag, and I'll just show you some of it. I will add a little more to this later on. But here I have beef jerky, gummies, graham crackers, peanut butter crackers, some more gummies. These little on-the-go peanut butter cups are great. You just need water to heat these oats up. Kids love those. And having these little snack foods can help kids. All you need for this is water to boil it. This is stuff that lasted a really long time. Got some fruit bars. The Propel to put in water. Of course, having water on its own is fantastic and better than nothing. But if you can have a couple of these, for kids, it don't even take a whole pack of these. Just a few, you know, a little bit of it can go a long way. So kids really enjoy that stuff if they had to be away from home and out of their comfort zone. And then for me and my husband, we have these little things of coffee. So I will put all that in a bag and put it in my bag here in a few minutes. I also forgot to mention that these are the mini Alice packs off of Amazon, and they're around $35, and they have all kinds of pockets, but any backpack would do. It does not have to be these. And then here we have our it's got a compass on it. It is a bracelet, but we keep ours. These come in multiple colors. We have all the colors sitting back here because we are a family of 5. But these bracelets here are great because they have a compass on them. They have fire starter. See if I can get it off here. We keep them on here so that the kids doesn't lose them. And if you needed it in a pinch, you have it. But the little rod here in the middle, and this you use for your fire starter. See the little flickers there? And you can get those on Amazon. And they come in a pack of, I don't remember how many was in the pack, but you can find those on Amazon. A lot of this stuff came from Amazon. Now here I have my hygiene bag. And yes, I told y'all my name was Tasha. It is actually LaTasha, but I just go by Tasha. But I'm not going to get all this out. But I'm just going to show you some stuff that we have here. Now, I will get this out because this I thought was such a good idea. But these are at the Dollar Tree. And it's wash rags. And you just wet them and they expand. So this takes up way less space. So I got me Wonder Woman here. And then ladies are not going to want to forget their necessities and deodorant. And then these little travel kits with toothpaste, toothbrush, and the little holder for the toothbrush. I believe I got these at Walmart. It might have been the Dollar Tree. I'm not sure. And then I have a nail kit in mine. The kids and my husband doesn't have these. I just got one to put in mine in case someone gets a hangnail or, you know, something that needs to be took care of. And I guess I am going to get this stuff out to go ahead and show you. Deodorant. A lot of this little travel size stuff. Powder is such a good idea. That was stuck. Sorry that y'all are seeing the back of my head. This is the only way I could set up my phone. Shampoo and conditioner, travel size. We have a pack of wet wipes. We have chapstick. And then I got these at the Dollar Tree. It's a little brush with a mirror. You just pop it out by the thing on the back. So little travel size each. We have several of these, each bag. And then the hand sanitizer for, of course, cleaning your hands if you need to. But it's also great fire starter. So each bag has that. Now here we have my first aid bag. And I don't even remember. It's good to keep these out, get them out every so often and go through everything so that you remember what you have. Because I have forgot some of this stuff. We do all have a cigarette lighter. That way you could start fire if, you know, your bracelet didn't work or something. But you always need a cigarette lighter. We have some rope in case we need to tie something. We have some bandages of all sizes. We have some band-aids. Now this right here is nothing major. This is just a little tiny boo-boo kit is what we call it. You know, some Neosporin, cotton balls. You can also use cotton balls for fire starter. Now in this, I have my, sorry, I'm all up in the, I'm going to be all up in your screen because I'm making sure that I'm filming. So in this, we are going to, I have my clothes. You can put them in any kind of bag, but you want them to be in something in case you get something wet. You can put it in this when you change. Now, another thing I have in this so that it doesn't get wet is we all have a roll of toilet paper and we put it in this so it doesn't get wet, and then inside this. That way it's took care of real good. And then we all have a cap for our heads. I'm not going to show you my clothes, but I will tell you, we do all have gloves. See, that was another thing the other day when we got these out and was looking through them. My two youngest kids had already grown so much that they had outgrew the gloves that they had in here. So we had to take care of that. So you always need to be thinking about stuff like that. Hand warmers. You can put those on any part of your body to help stay warm, and especially for kids. And then I have pants, socks, underclothes, short sleeve shirt, and long sleeve shirt. You always want to make sure for sure that you have extra socks, and maybe even shoes if you have room for them, which is a good idea, some extra shoes. Now, the other thing that me and my husband have in our bags, but the kids do not, is a tarp. These come from Walmart. They're pretty cheap. You could use this for shelter or multiple different things. You know, we've talked about, you know, you never know if you were slid off the road or something, you know, and you needed to have things, you know, I mean, it could be anything. It doesn't have to just be some kind of nuclear disaster. It could literally be anything. And then in here, I have my wool blanket. We got these off of Amazon. I believe you got like 5 or 6 of these together. I really can't remember. It was several that came in a pack, and these are like the best to have for outdoorsy type stuff. Now, when we're talking about bug out bags, that's just what these are known as, but it's not like we plan on, you know, putting these on our back and hitting the woods and going, you know, to live off the land or anything. But all of the scenarios that I just gave you, and like I said, it could be like a diaper bag for yourself, just like you do for a baby. But each person has their own stuff. And my kids, my two youngest, their bags are so heavy, they could not pack these any distance. I mean, my son packed his the other day, you know, just a few steps, but my little one couldn't pack hers at all. So we understand that, you know, that's not what these are for. So we're going to see here what's in the pockets. So here we have our water straws. These also come on Amazon. We got the cheaper version. They have some that cost way more. These came in a pack of maybe 8. I'm not really sure. I know that me and him have 2 each in ours, and then the kids all have one. So if you have some water that you think might not be safe to drink, that's what these are for. Then we have this fork and spoon combo. These also came from Amazon. This is another fire starter. You always want multiple ways of starting a fire. We all have bandanas. These are brand new. You know, you could use these as tourniquets to stop bleeding if you had to, or dip them in water to wrap around your neck to cool you off. Use them like a wash rag. I mean, lots of different things, and these are cheap right from the Dollar Tree. These are emergency thermal blankets. You can get a whole bunch of these for a little of nothing on Amazon. This right here, just this pack, has multiple ones in it, and we all have those. Actually have another pack. These are mosquito coil wristbands. I got these when they were on clearance at Walmart for 50 cents. I've never wore these. I know some people say they work, some say they do not. So for 50 cents, that's why I waited till they went on sale. So whenever you find stuff like that, it's a good time to stock up. I have a little pocket flashlight. And that it takes care of that pocket. Now in here, drop something. We have some more line. We have a headlamp. I like these because if you're busy doing something with your hands, this is a great option where you don't have to hold a light. These little Altoids, I bought these specifically so that we could use them for little fishing kits, and you don't have to worry about the weather bothering them because they are metal. But once again, we have another lighter, and then we have some fishing line and some hooks and all the stuff that if you were out somewhere and you needed to fish for some food, you have that option. More hot hands. These rain ponchos, they are pretty cheap at Walmart too. I don't remember. I know I got these at the Dollar Tree. So everyone needs one of those so that you can be sure you stay dry. An ink pen. Every one of my kids, I'm not going to go through all of theirs since I'm just going through this one. We all pretty much have the same thing. There's a few things that vary. They do have some cards so that they could play cards if we were stuck somewhere. They need something to do, some little toys that are like, you know, just to fiddle with while we were, whatever we were doing. But they all have ink pens and notepads because they love drawing and writing and all that stuff, and it gives them something to do. Or you could do crayon and coloring books, whichever. Number one important thing is we all have a Bible. This is a fire starter. Once again, another lighter, cotton balls with some Vaseline or hand sanitizer on it is a great fire starter. And this is lint from the dryer. Lint from the dryer does a great job. Now we're going to go on to this last pocket here. Sorry about that, y'all. I had company and I had to leave y'all for a minute. So we let off here at the, these are Stanley cups. These also came from Amazon. It has the little, where you don't touch it when it's hot. You can cook in this and put this right on your fire. And then you could eat out of this or pour it into this, or you could have 2 cups to drink out of. And then this handle, you just squeeze it and put it back over. Now I'm not going to show you my information, but on the back side of these, right here where it's smooth inside, we took a Sharpie and wrote our full name, phone number, address, if you're allergic to anything, especially a kid, because if someone you know, found the kid, if they got away from you and if there was an emergency type situation, they need all that information on there, just because, well, if you lose it and someone finds this, maybe you would get it back. But if not, and maybe you were in some kind of situation, like I said, where you got away from your family, especially a kid that may not know all their information, it's just good to have it all on there. Now, I'm just going to scoot all this to the side. I will put all that back in there here in a few minutes. Now, the bags is up to you if you want those in your vehicle or if you want them in your house where you can grab them to go in a quick moment. I have showed this first aid kit. I'm not going to go through what is in this because I have already showed this. I have a video on my channel, Mama Smoky Hills Life Skills, of what all is in my first aid kit. This bag itself came from Amazon. It is full of all kinds of stuff if you want to go over and watch that video. But having this in your vehicle is a great option. Another thing that is good to have is a jug of water, or even a couple of jugs if you have room. But now, when it comes to temperature changes, you want to keep an eye on that, because I had one and I like these jugs. These are the Sunny D jugs. I don't like milk jugs because they bust a lot easier. They're not as thick. This is a Sunny D jug. It's much thicker. I had one in there here a while back, and I had to take it out because the temperatures got down to below freezing, and I was afraid it was going to bust in there. So you'll need to check that even in the summer if it was to get too hot. So just figure out some way to do that without, this can be used for a lot of things. I mean, your car could overheat and you need water for it just on a normal type day. Or once again, you could be in some kind of situation where you are needing some water, your kid, whatever reason it might be. You always need to have water on hand. Another thing we have here, let me grab it. This is good to have in your vehicle also. A cooler. This is mine. Now in my cooler, I do have a extra blanket. It's one of those wool ones like I showed you a minute ago that's in our bug out bag. And I put it on top of the stuff that's in here, because you never know when you're going to need a blanket, or a kid's going to get cold if you were stuck somewhere, out of gas for a while in a snowstorm, go off an embankment, and if you could, if you were okay and you were able to crawl around in your vehicle, you see stories like that all the time. Having stuff in there could potentially save your life or someone else's. I do have another bandana in there, once again, for a tourniquet, a rag. If you were in some kind of situation, you needed to cover your face. These are good for so many different things. A bag of Chex Mix. I have some different kinds of tuna here. You want to make sure that you got stuff that everyone likes. Of course, if you're hungry enough, you might eat other kinds of stuff. But you know how kids can be. So my kids are not crazy over tuna. But they come in all kinds of different flavors now, like the hickory smoke, sweet and spicy, ranch, jalapeno. A can of luncheon meat. My kids are not even crazy about canned spaghetti, but if they had no other option, they would eat it. And you could, between my two smallest kids, one can of this could be divided for a couple of different people. And then anytime you get spoons, forks, napkins, salt, pepper, all that stuff, we all know how we keep napkins from the restaurant in our glove boxes, which is perfectly fine. I've been doing it for years, but these come from the restaurant too. Stick them in a bug out bag in your glove box and the cooler. Those are great to have. And then I have 5 more bottles of water in here, and keeping it in this cooler, insulated, and with that blanket on it, it did not freeze during the winter time. But once again, you will want to check all that ever so often, make sure it's not frozen, not got too hot and busted, not went bad from heat or whatever, because we're going to have, you know, the summers here get sometimes pretty hot. So that is it, guys, on what is in our bug out bags and cooler and just things that you need to have in your vehicle ready to go. Make sure you have gas, like I said, if you need to get somewhere, because if there was some type of community type emergency or state emergency, you know, the gas stations might be closed or they might be overcrowded, people trying to get to them too much. And this is not to cause fear. This is, do not live in fear, you know, but you want to be prepared. It is okay to be prepared. And, you know, the scenario might not go the way that you plan, but you can do all that you can do. Okay? And that's literally all you can do. But going back to what I said at the beginning of the video about the ones that don't think that you should store up food or anything, how are you going to help your brothers and sisters in need if you don't have anything? And then why do you lock your, you know, we talked about wearing a seatbelt in a vehicle. Why do that? Why are you going to lock your door at night to your house? You know, you're always doing these things, and it's the same thing. You're just not thinking of it on the same level. But there is so many different ways to prepare and talk to your husband or wife or kids about all these things that's going on. You know, don't let it come to a big surprise for them to scare them. You know, you want them to know how to use the stuff that's in these bags. The number one thing we want them to know is who Jesus is, and make sure that they are ready to meet him. But when it comes to all this type of stuff, you also want your kids to know what each of these is. Those bracelets is not going to do them any good if they don't know how to use them. You know, you need to teach them how to use this stuff and how to be prepared. So, I'm sorry once again about how I was all up in the camera. I kind of couldn't help that. This was really the only place that I could do this today, but it is so pretty out here, y'all. A little bit windy, not as bad as yesterday. But right now we all need to be praying. Is the number one, praying. There is so many things going on, y'all, and it's every day. And I will call people all the time to tell them, and they have no clue. You know, the news can be a bad thing, you know, because they don't want to tell us, you know, the truth about what's going on, or they try to keep secrets, and we're not going to know the truth anyway until the Lord comes back. But we also need to be well aware of what's going on, because just over the last couple of weeks, y'all, we had the train derailment in Ohio. We've had mysterious balloons floating through the sky. And then yesterday we had the nuclear plant in Oak Ridge fire. It's all just a lot. And we need to just make sure that we are ready. And when I say we are ready to meet Jesus. That is the number one. The gospel is 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4. How Christ died for your sins, was buried, and rose again. When you put your trust in that, you'll be saved. He says you will. But we also need to prep in other ways too, with food and water. And all of this stuff is war on our food and our water and our health. And being prepared could get us through a time that we need. And Jesus may just be telling you to do that. And I hope this video helps someone. I see some flies there flying around on my camera. So if you see them, once again, I'm sorry. I'm outside. This is real life. There's going to be wind. There's going to be sun glares. There's going to be flies. It's all the things. And I know that I kept my back turned that way in some of the video, but it's so hard to see where the sun is shining. But maybe I showed you enough that It will help. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.